All right, let's jump right in. Today we're going to talk about a really fascinating substance from the world of traditional medicine. And what's interesting is it's not a plant, it's not an animal part, it's a mineral, a real powerhouse that acts like a specialized firefighter for the body when it's dealing with the most intense kinds of internal heat.
So, to really get a handle on this, we first need to understand the problem it's designed to solve. And we're not talking about just feeling a little warm here. We're talking about a full-blown internal blaze.
I mean, just think about the worst fever you've ever had. You know, the one where the heat isn't just on your skin, it feels like it's coming from deep inside your bones. It's just this overwhelming, exhausting heat. That feeling? That's getting really close to what we're about to talk about.
So in this system, that kind of condition has a very specific name: chi level heat. Now, chi level basically means the problem has gotten past your first line of defense, past the outer gates, and is now causing this massive body-wide fever. They even call it heat without form because it's not a physical thing you can point to or cut out. It's a pure, raging, energetic state.
So, what do you do when you have a fire that intense? You don't just need a bucket of water, you need a specialist. You need the ultimate fighter. And in this system of medicine, the #1 tool for that job is a mineral called gypsum.
Gypsum, or shigao, is really defined by its fundamental nature, and its dominant characteristic is that it is profoundly cold. Now, we're not talking cooling like a cucumber on a summer day. No, this is a serious medicinal force designed to meet overwhelming heat with an equal and opposite power.
And its strategy is just brilliant. It's a full-on, multi-pronged attack. First, as you can see, it goes right in and directly confronts that deep, intense heat. But at the same time, it helps generate fluids to fight off the dehydration that always comes with a high fever. Then, it actually helps vent the heat out through the skin. So you see, it's not just a fire hose, it's a complete emergency response system with the special focus on the lungs and stomach.
Okay, so here's a crucial point. Gypsum is a powerhouse, but it's a team player. You almost never see it used all by itself. Its true power is unlocked inside carefully constructed formulas. And there is no formula more famous for this than the one known as the White Tiger decoction.
In traditional formulation, herbs are actually given ranks, kind of like in an army. And in Bai Hotang, gypsum is the chief herb. It's the commanding general. This formula is the absolute classic, the go-to prescription for that chi-level heat we just described. Gypsum's role is not up for debate. It is leading the charge.
And this slide right here shows you the genius of the strategy. You've got gypsum as the chief, the heavy hitter. It's supported by a deputy, Anna Morena, which also clears heat and deals with dryness. But look at the assistants. Licorice and rice. Their job is absolutely crucial. They're there to protect the stomach, to make sure that the intense cold of the main herbs doesn't damage the digestive system. It's just this perfect blend of overwhelming power and careful protection.
But gypsum isn't a one-trick pony. It can play different roles, it can adapt to different situations. Let's move on to another famous formula and see how this plays out, because it really showcases its versatility.
Okay, now this is where things get really fascinating. In this formula, which is for things like wheezing with heat in the lungs, our extremely cold gypsum is teamed up with ma huang, an herb that's known for being distinctly warm. Now, you might be thinking, wait a second, how does that make any sense?
And this just perfectly illustrates the art of formulation. Ma huang is warm, and its job is to open up the airways and push pathogens out. But if you're already dealing with a heat condition, using only a warming herb could make things a lot worse. So you bring in gypsum as the perfect partner. While ma huang is kicking up in the front door, gypsum is inside extinguishing the fire. Together, they create this beautiful dynamic balance to clear the lungs and calm wheezing.
So we've seen its strength, but you know the saying, with great power comes the need for great precision. Using a tool as strong as gypsum isn't something to be taken lightly. So let's look at the crucial rules for getting it right.
This might be the single most important concept here. Gypsum is for true excess heat, a real pathogenic fire. But sometimes a person can feel hot because they're fundamentally weak. Think of a car engine overheating. It could be on fire, or it could just be out of coolant. That's deficiency heat. Using gypsum in that situation would be like trying to fix the low coolant by blasting the engine with a fire extinguisher. It is absolutely the wrong tool, and you can seriously damage the body's core energy. It's yang qi.
The dosage also shows you how powerful this stuff is. Modern texts recommend a huge range, from 30 all the way up to 120 grams a day. This tells you it's not a one-size-fits-all substance.
The exact amount has to be perfectly matched to the severity of the fire you're trying to extinguish, which again, just highlights why you need a precise diagnosis from someone who knows what they're doing.
And if it's used incorrectly, the warning signs are exactly what you'd expect from something that's extremely cold. We're talking about the body becoming dangerously cold, leading to icy limbs, a rapid pulse, even trouble breathing as the whole system struggles against that overwhelming cold.
You know, this metaphor really does sum it up perfectly. When the building is truly ablaze, there is no better tool. It's powerful, it's effective, and it's designed for a 5-alarm emergency.
And here is the key takeaway. The incredible power of that fire hose is exactly why it has to be handled with skill and respect. You have to aim it correctly, use just the right amount of pressure, and know exactly when to turn it off, so that in the process of saving the building, you don't end up destroying its foundation, the body's essential yang qi.
And that really leaves us with a broader thought, doesn't it? The story of gypsum isn't just about one mineral. It's a masterclass in the principle of balance. It reminds us that in medicine, and maybe in life, the most powerful solutions are often the ones that require the most wisdom to apply correctly. Thanks for joining me.